Hello and welcome to our very first coaching session. This part always takes just a moment. I don't know if you can all hear the chiming back there. That is probably people asking why it isn't live yet. It should have gone live a few minutes ago, but we had some sound errors. A few people couldn't hear me. So I am going to go ahead and edit the coaching session so that everybody can hear and see me, I hope. And if anybody can't hear me, please let me know. And then once people start joining us, we will jump in and start with this first session. So I hope you're all doing really well. I hope you're having a good day, a good Saturday, a good start to your Saturday anyway. And what we're going to be talking about a lot today is really just how the boot camp works, what I need to see from you really to be successful in this boot camp, and what we're going to be doing for the next 6 weeks. So if you are here, I would love for you to say hi and let me know if you're able to do the YouTube chat, and let me know if you can't figure out how that works. It's just really in YouTube that we're chatting. It's not in the Mighty Networks app, because Mighty Networks will host this video for us, but not really they're not controlling the chat feature and things like that. Hi, Christina. Hi, Melinda. Okay. Hi, Tara. I'm so glad you guys are here. Okay. So now that I know people have joined me, I'm going to explain a little bit for everybody who's joining us for the first time. If this is your first boot camp, the way that this video system works is Mighty Network hosts this YouTube video. These videos, these links are private links. That means that nobody else who is following my YouTube channel or working with me on Facebook or anything like that, nobody else can see these videos. It's just you guys. So this is a private link. You can either grab this link now that you clicked on and save it and watch it again later, or watch it another time. Or you could just go to the Mighty Networks, go to events, and then past, and you'll be able to access this video again. And that will be true for all of the videos that we post through the whole thing. So we do have a lot to cover today because it's our first session. If you have not had a chance to go to the Start Here topic and watch the video walkthrough of what it looks like, that would be probably very helpful for you. And if you haven't had a chance to go through your workbook for this week, these workbook pages are meant to help you during the session and after the session. So I'm just going to show you. I upload the pages one by one or week by week because it's too easy to get ahead and get a little confused, and we're covering so much information 1 week at a time seems to be plenty. So I have a little overview for you what we'll be covering every week on the first page of the workbook. Again, if you can't find this, it's under the workbook pages under topics. There's a page for notes. Some of this stuff will be the same week to week. I put some resources that you need for this week. The resources we need for this week are going to be the Trim Healthy Mama app. So if you, or the website if you don't have a smartphone, but I'm going to show you mine and hope that you can see it, because sometimes you can and sometimes you can't. So I don't know if you can see that. This is the Trim Healthy Mama app. You can type just about, most foods in here and it will tell you what fuel it is. This is really, really helpful, especially if you're new to the plan. Some of my boot campers, hi guys, that are coming back from previous weeks, a lot of this is review for them, but you will want their experience and you'll want to check out their food menus because some of them are really, really doing a great job. So if you're new, this is what we're doing this week. We want the THM app. So if you have any questions about what fuel something is, of course you can ask in the group and I'm happy to answer questions like that, but it will probably be faster to get an immediate answer and use the THM app, which is also helpful if you're out at a restaurant. Part of the workbook this week is an eating out guide that I did not print for some reason. And if yours isn't printing either, I will re-upload the eating out guide. So there's an eating out guide to help you stick to the plan when you're out at a restaurant. If you didn't see that in this week's workbook, I'll go ahead and upload another copy. I'm not sure where that ended up. And we have if you have the Trim Healthy Table book, that's part of our homework this week. You'll see your homework assignments in the workbook. This week, we're going to be rereading the plan overview located at the beginning of the book, Trim Healthy Table. If you don't have that, you can go ahead and try to get it from your library, but I really recommend that book. And if you have done this boot camp before and you're wondering if you need to do this again, the answer is yes. Rereading that first section of Trim Healthy Table is a great reminder for just how the plan works, just kind of making it sink in even more into your brain. We're going to work on swapping out an unhealthy habit for a healthy one. It could be switching soda for more water. It could be switching something that you eat off plan. It could be anything that you know that's part of the plan. You'll want to be swapping that out. So when I upload the eating out guide, that will be in the extra resources tab. Okay, so if you're looking for that. And then for ultimate success on THM, I want to ask everybody to make sure your refrigerator is stocked with lean protein for quick snacks and meals this week. So try rotisserie chicken, deli meat, pre-cooked chicken strips, hard-boiled eggs. Having collagen, that's a lean protein. There's a lot of lean protein options that you can have. You want to make sure that you have those ready to go. So that's our homework for the week, but if you have any questions about that, we'll talk about that later. That's not really, the homework is more of an to do after these little mini sessions, these coaching sessions. So we're not going to talk a whole lot about that. It's just something for you to do throughout the week to help you stay on track with THM. I also have this making progress worksheet that I would like for you to rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10 every week. And that way you can look back at your progress at the end and see how you've been doing. It's also good to focus on 1 or 2 areas every week. And some of the things that we talk about will all fall into this category. Understanding the plan, using superfoods, sticking to the plan, prepping ahead, meal planning, eating vegetables, drinking water, exercising, eating every 3 hours, drinking sippers, focusing on 1 or 2 of these per week. These are the habits that are going to carry you through your THM journey, even far past the 6 weeks. And then the last page is goal setting for Trim Healthy Mama. And this is something that I think is really, really important because your goals will change and adjust as you are following the plan and as you get closer to your ultimate weight loss goal. But it really helps to have a good idea and a good concept of where you want to go and what steps you need to go to take there. You need to take to get there, excuse me. So, okay, I'm so glad we have so many people joining us today. So we will be meeting every Saturday except for every Saturday morning except for one of the Saturdays for boot camp. And if there are any changes to the schedule, from time to time, things happen like most of the group will say, oh, it's back to school night in September and everybody has it that night. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, we need to adjust it. Sometimes that happens with the boot camp where we'll change one of the dates. So you can rewatch any of these sessions anytime. So I just ask everybody to be a little flexible because I try to do what seems to work best for the majority of the group. And a lot of times it's just the way it is that these Saturday sessions happen to work best for people, but I do want to be flexible with that. So while we have more people coming in, I am going to talk about, let's see, it looks like Facebook is late showing me some comments here. Okay, you don't see the eating out guide, right? So I'll go ahead and add that to the extra resources tab for you all. So I'd like to ask you all to introduce yourselves in the welcome thread on the Mighty Networks group so that we can all get to know each other a little bit better. And I have a lot of notes based on what I saw on your intake forms, but some people did only complete the first page of the Trim Healthy Mama Sleuth form, and that's a really important page. So I'd ask if you did not complete that, maybe go back and go through again, or if you recall only filling out the first page, please go back and do the other pages as well. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about my Trim Healthy Mama journey, just so that you know how I can relate to you. I've now coached hundreds of people on the Trim Healthy Mama lifestyle. I've had a lot of really great success cases and a lot of really awesome results. But more than that, what I love the most is so many of my clients adopt this as a lifestyle and are still living the Trim Healthy Mama lifestyle far past their goal weight, which is what I want for everybody because of the reduction in inflammation, the health, the health benefits of Trim Healthy Mama. There's so many good things about it. I really believe in this way of eating, not just for immediate weight loss, but for life. So my Trim Healthy Mama story in a nutshell is that I found THM in December of 2012 when the original book was published. It was an advertisement on the back of Above Rubies magazine. Nancy Campbell, who's Serene and Pearl's mom, writes a magazine, publishes this beautiful magazine about large families called Above Rubies, and they had an advertisement for it in the back. And I was overweight and I was really tired of being that way. For me, it just didn't really bother me a lot to look in the mirror. I never thought that I was overweight, but I kind of thought I looked okay. And looking back, I probably think I did probably look okay, but I didn't feel good. And I didn't like the way I looked in pictures. I don't know if anybody else can relate to this, but my family would take pictures and I would just duck out always, or I'd be the photographer. I didn't like being in pictures. And now looking back, I wish that even at the weight I was at, I would have taken pictures with my little kids, because I don't have that many because of that self-consciousness that I had. But I remember looking at a picture after around Christmas that year. It was at a family event, and thinking, how did I get like this? I honestly did not understand how I had let that happen at the time. And I had a rough couple of years, because in 2011 and 2012, I was pregnant with my fourth baby. I had a really, really bad pregnancy. And at 4 weeks, I was diagnosed with hyperemesis gravidarum, which is basically constant vomiting. And it's like having severe food poisoning for an entire 9 months of pregnancy. They do have medications for that condition, but none of them worked for me. I was in and out of the hospital. I went weeks without being able to eat solid food. And at one point, I lost 12 pounds in 9 days, I think, from continually being so sick. And I honestly didn't know at points if I was going to live through it. I didn't know it was possible for a human being to be that sick. I was so sick, I couldn't concentrate. I couldn't read books. I couldn't speak correctly. I couldn't pull my thoughts together. I was so incredibly sick. And, but the moment my daughter was born, the sickness was gone. It was amazing. It really was just the pregnancy sickness, like the doctors had said. And I started eating whatever I could get my hands on. Fruity Pebbles and pancakes for breakfast, baked potatoes for lunch, fast food for dinner. I just nonstop gluttony, and it felt so good. I hadn't been able to gain weight when I was pregnant, but I definitely did not have that problem after my daughter was born. And by December of 2012, when they published the original THM book, I was about 40 pounds overweight, and I was ready to change. And that's 40 pounds over like the body mass index, where the max of what I should have been was. So I saw the book and I remember thinking at the time, and this has stayed with me through from that point till now. So that was almost 8 years ago, that I thought, no one can do this for me. Just like nobody could carry that baby for me. Nobody could have gone through that on my behalf, and I wouldn't have asked anybody to. No one can make these food choices for me. No one can lose this weight. Oops, I just lost my computer, sorry. No one could lose the weight except for me. It was something that I had to do by myself. And coming to that realization was huge for finally deciding to lose weight and finally deciding to really stick to it. I'm a believer in Jesus Christ, and I can say I've never felt God's presence more in my life than when I went through that pregnancy. And I've shared that with a lot of people. I've said that in every boot camp because it's really important to me. But I have to say that during that postpartum period, I know there was a huge lack of self-control, a huge lack of discipline, and that led me to where I was, and that wasn't a good place. I realized that giving up that self-control and that desire to be healthy was so bad for me in so many ways. It was bad for my character, and it was also bad for my health. So I knew that I had the tools to have self-control, but I wasn't using them. I knew that I had to stick with it, because ultimately, if I didn't stick with it, if I didn't reach my goal, it was no one's fault but my own. And coming to that realization that we are the only people who decide what goes into our mouths every single day, that's big. That's a big part of being successful on this plan, and owning it is taking that responsibility. If you are new to the plan, or even if you're not, I didn't always understand the plan, and I don't know if that makes anybody else feel any better, but For about 6 weeks, I think I was eating crossovers every day by accident, and I didn't realize it until I posted something in the Trim Healthy Mama Facebook group, which now has, I think, in the high 200,000s of members, and at that time there were only like under 5,000 members in that Facebook group. But I posted something there and I was like, look what I'm eating, I'm losing weight. And then all these people were like, you're doing it wrong. And that was kind of funny, but it was also so discouraging. But I still got some results, even messing up. And it still was so much better for me than what I had been doing. I was a soda addict and I would have sometimes even a 6-pack or more a day of Dr. Pepper. So getting to the place where I wasn't doing that anymore, that was a huge non-scale victory just by itself. So I did end up losing 40 pounds, 35 to 40 pounds with THM. I had to adjust my goal when I got closer to my goal clothing size because I was getting too thin. And then I was able to stick with it and keep it off until I had a surprise baby, pregnancy number 5. And I ended up with that big surprise taking medicine before I even got sick, and that made all the difference. So I didn't have the same experience with that baby. I had a trim and healthy pregnancy with the Trim Healthy Mama diet. So I'd been writing on my blog at workingathomeschool.com, and Trim Healthy Mama very generously and kindly started promoting my website on their Facebook page, in their Trim Healthy Mama plan book as a meal plan resource. And if you still type in workingathomeschool.com, it'll take you to my website, which is now called thewellplannedkitchen.com. And then they published my brownie batter in a mug recipe in the Trim Healthy Table cookbook. So that was really, really exciting. But then I had another life setback. After baby number 5, I was having enormous stress, and my husband of 16 years was having some big struggles and decided to leave and did not come back. And so I had a whole year where I was emotionally eating and gaining weight, and it would not come off. No matter what I tried, would not come off. So if you've ever had a weight loss stall, boy, I know what that feels like, because I was eating on plan and nothing was happening. And I was thinking, hey, this worked for me before. Why isn't it working now? Well, after a year, I finally decided to follow Trim Healthy Mama's recommendations in their book and go get some hormone testing done. Lo and behold, I had extremely high cortisol levels, which were not allowing the weight to come off. So now that's why when I work with clients who aren't losing weight, I always recommend go get hormone testing done. Try to find a natural doctor if you can, who can test all of your thyroid levels and everything the way that they need to be tested, because sometimes that's the culprit by itself. So I did break through that weight loss stall, and Trim Healthy Mama came to the rescue for me, because my doctor said she couldn't even imagine how much weight I would have gained during that time and how much damage I would have done to myself had I not stuck with THM, even though I wasn't losing. So that's just my little side note for you. There are so many benefits to this, even if you don't see results every week, or even if you don't see results at all. So I eventually lost the weight, got to my goal. And the point of all of this is not to talk about myself for a really long time. It's just to share with you that I've dealt with a lot of difficult THM situations personally. And now, having coached so many women, I've dealt with so many seemingly impossible situations. And I feel really confident that I can help you. Going through everybody's forms, I did not see anything so far that raised any concern or made me think, oh, this person's not going to be able to make it. This person won't get to their goal, because everything that I saw there is something that I've seen before. Of course, everybody's unique and everybody's awesome and everybody's different, but my point in saying that is that if you feel like you have insurmountable issues, it's not likely that you do. It's probably problems we can figure out together, or even if you need to see your doctor for a few things to get things more under control, there are usually solutions to most of these problems. So most of the things and struggles that we have. So I just wanted to remind you all, you can always watch the replays of these coaching videos. If you go to events, and then there's a past button at the top that you can click, you can watch the old events, the old coaching videos. Now there's several ways to reach me in this group. You can contact me through private message. If there's something that you don't want to discuss in front of the group, that's totally fine. It does take me a little bit longer to get back to those messages because they are usually more involved. So the way that the group works is you can ask questions every day or multiple times a day. There is a thread for questions, THM questions for Coach Jen. There's a thread for food journals. If you want to post a 3-day food journal, I'll go through it for you and see if I see anything that's a problem or can make any recommendations. There's also a daily accountability thread where you can just check in and say, hey, yes, I was on plan today. No, I wasn't. Here's what happened. And we can talk through that a little bit. There is an accountability buddy thread. I do not monitor that thread, but if you want to find somebody to go through boot camp with you, some of the most successful cases I've had have been people who have buddies to go through the program with them. So posting the questions is the best way to get to me. So I'm in the group at least 3 times a day at bare minimum, except for Sundays. I'll check in once every Sunday and just see how everybody's doing. I don't take any days off, but I will just check in and see how things are going Sunday. I might not comment a lot myself, but I'll just monitor and make sure everybody's doing well and see if there's any questions I need to answer. There is a meal plan in the group, and there is a meal plan frequently asked questions that I'd like for you to read with it. But if you have any questions about the meal plan, feel free to comment on the meal plan and I'm happy to answer them for you. In every meal plan, if there is bold type, that's a clickable recipe link. So you can click on that bold type and it will open up a recipe for you online, and that's where you can find the recipe there. I am wanting to just encourage you. After every boot camp, there's usually 1 or 2 people, and I just actually got an email this morning from somebody who just completed the boot camp, the last session, and said, Jen, I just got your email with all the video sessions and all of the printables that you provided, and I'm really upset because I am not in the boot camp anymore and I didn't really start it. I knew it was going on. I saw the posts, but I didn't really participate and I didn't get any results. So that does happen. If you don't participate, if you don't eat on plan, if you don't follow along, of course, you're probably not going to be able to expect anything astonishing to happen, right? Now, there are times that people do follow along 100%, and like me, they might get into a weight loss stall. Of course, Trim Healthy Mama does not guarantee any results, but if you stick to the plan now, this is a good chance to troubleshoot anything that might come up. If you go into this with the mindset that you'll get back what you put into these 6 weeks, those are the people who see a difference. If you go into it thinking, I'll wait till week 5 and then I might try it, or let's say you have some crazy family thing happen and you have to take a break, that's fine. But there's a difference between taking a break and just dropping out too. If you're able at all to come back, please do it. If you're able to follow along, please do it. Because if you're not going to stick to THM now, when you have someone ready to help you, if you hit a stall or you find a problem that you're just not losing and you want to lose, if you're not able to do it now, when are you going to do it? The problem is after 6 weeks, I'm not as available to you. Right now, you have a coach available every day to answer your questions, to help you out, to help keep you accountable. So let this be the time that you do the work. And it should not take you that much time, okay? If you could spend 5 to 10 minutes a day in the group, if you could spend maybe 15 minutes to an hour prepping food every week, and maybe 15 minutes a week or so doing homework, not counting listening to podcasts, because of course those are longer, but you could fold laundry or be driving at the same time that you listen. If you can commit just a little bit of time and commit your will to making this happen and sticking to the plan, that's how you're going to be in the best position possible to reach your goals. So this boot camp is completely about making this a lifestyle, about sticking to it 100%, and then also about making sure that there's not any issues that you need extra help with, extra coaching help with. So use this time wisely and really commit to it to get where you want to go. I'm a little bit of a tougher coach. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, but I know from experience that THM, and this is true for any healthy decision you make in your life, and not just Trim Healthy Mama, but it's not just one choice that you make. You can't just say, yes, I agree to give THM a try. I'm signing up for boot camp, and then you can coast and you're done. You're choosing a lifestyle, and that means you have to choose yourself and choose THM over and over again every single day as soon as you wake up in the morning. Those little choices are what propel you to your goal, and you're more than capable of making them. So for the next 6 weeks, I want you to keep in mind that it will come down to those small decisions, and that's what's going to make a difference in the long run. So I'm going to show you this. I dropped my paper, so just a second here. I'm going to show you these building blocks documents. So I am the coach who had spoken directly to THM and the Coaches Council and said, hey, I love this document. Can I please have permission to share it with my coaching clients because it is so helpful? And they said yes. So all of us coaches get to share it now, but it does not belong to me, and therefore, it also does not belong to you. This is privately shared, so that means I have given it to you. It's in the Trim Healthy Mama resources, extra resources tab under topics. And this is the building blocks document. This is what I'm talking about. Please don't share it with anybody. I got permission to share it with you with the caveat that I ask you not to share it with anybody else. So this document is awesome. This is 4 building blocks for a great E meal, for a great S meal, and for a great FP meal. If you're struggling at all with sticking to the plan, or even if you're not, please refer to this document. It tells you exactly how to make every type of THM meal. So, for example, the building an E meal. We'll just go through one of these, but there's 3 pages for you. Step 1, choose a generous serving of lean protein. These are the things that I want you to keep in your refrigerator at all times right now. You need to have several sources of lean protein to help you stay on plan. So their options that they give you are boneless, skinless chicken breast or lean turkey, lean grass-fed beef, fish, deli meats, low-fat or non-fat cottage cheese, low-fat or non-fat Greek yogurt, whey protein powder, egg whites. Another one here that, of course, doesn't need to be refrigerated should be collagen. So you could write that in if you wanted. I'm actually not sure why they didn't include that, but that's a lean protein. A serving of lean meat is at least 3 ounces, size of a deck of playing cards. You really don't need more than that, but if you want more than that, you can probably go a little bit over. But another way that I look at it is about the size of the palm of my hand for a serving of protein. Okay, so you'll choose 1 generous serving of lean protein. Step 2 is add 1 teaspoon of fat or oil for your E meal. A lot of people think, oh, it's an E, I can skip the fat or oil. Oftentimes when we skip the 1 teaspoon of fat and there's no fat in our E at all, that's when we get really hungry. So the 2 keys to staying full from an E meal are enough protein, you need adequate protein, and that teaspoon of fat. So you'll choose your teaspoon of fat, you'll choose the E fuel source, and their options that they give you are 2 slices of sprouted bread, 1 1/4 cups of old-fashioned oatmeal, 3/4 of a cup of quinoa or brown rice, 1 medium sweet potato, 1 1/2 cups of beans, fruits, and it tells you to limit the total carbs in your E meal to 45 grams. It also has a little note here that most people forget. It says, please avoid, or it doesn't say please, I added the please to make it polite. Avoid bananas, mangoes, pineapple if actively trying to lose weight. You can have those things, but a lot of times people in weight loss mode, I'll see them have a banana every day for their E source, and we don't really want to do that. That's not the best, most conducive for weight loss. So remember, avoid or limit those fruits when you're in weight loss mode. Then you can add some produce. It says optional but wise. In this boot camp, it's not optional. I want to see you eat veggies with every single meal if possible. It sounds daunting, but while you're getting used to being on plan all the time, this is one of the habits that will make the biggest difference for you in weight loss is getting those veggies in. So for breakfast, it might be a smoothie or a baby shake on the side that has some veggies added in it. It might be sauteed vegetables, something along those lines, even raw vegetables. I'll have a sliced up cucumber about every day. Eat your veggies. It will make a huge difference. So this is how they recommend building an E meal. There's also the F Fuel Pull Basics and the S Meal Basics. So I would like to ask you all to print this or save it on your computer, review it carefully, study it, use this to build your meals, even if you've been on plan for a long time, and even if you're a returning boot camp member, because you can build meals from this and get back to basics in this session as well. So I want you to be focused on what you can eat on THM, not what you can't eat. You do have to not eat things that will cause weight gain. But instead of just saying, I can't eat all these things, think about how we're not eating white rice, but you can have brown rice. We're not eating white potatoes, but you can eat sweet potatoes, things like that. And it helps a lot to just kind of avoid the white stuff, avoid white sugar, white flour, white potatoes, white rice. That's kind of an easy way to think about it. And every time, we'll talk about this more in our cheating session, but every time you are eating something, it helps to think, is this going to bring me closer to my goal or push me further away? When I eat the delicious THM desserts, like a THM FP pudding, I'll think, I am making progress. This is awesome. This is going to push me closer to my goal. But when I eat off plan, I have to tell myself, I am making it harder to lose weight. I am choosing not to lose weight today. And owning that is a big key to staying on plan. So another quick note about what I want you to expect. I want you to feel motivated. I want you to feel encouraged. And I really want you to feel committed to this group and this lifestyle. So many people start and stop and then say, well, I've been on Plan THM for 4 years and I haven't really gotten anywhere. Maybe you know why that is, or maybe you don't, but I just want to encourage you. If you're going to start, go all in right now. That's what the next 6 weeks are all about. So I want you to remember that. I also want to tell you stalls are not insurmountable problems, but I would expect that you may not lose weight right away as your body's adjusting. You may, but you may not. If you are losing less than an average of a half a pound a week, you might be a stubborn loser. I do not ever expect to see weight loss every single day. That just does not usually happen. So if you're weighing every day and expecting to see the scale go down, you might want to just put the scale away for a while. We want to see you trending downwards over a number of weeks, okay? So I want you to please focus on doing your very best the next 6 weeks. Focus on eliminating the sugar, eliminating the white flour if you're having it, and really watching things like the crossovers and eating as close to on plan if you can. If you post your 3-day food journal in the food journal thread, please it would just help a lot if you could mark down if it's an SEFP crossover or off plan with each meal that you post. And if you're learning, that's okay. I can help you. But if you post that, at least it gives me an idea of where you're at and how well you know THM and things like that. So we all have habits, either good ones or bad ones, but we all have them. And my goal for you is to make THM second nature so that all of the habits surrounding your eating and lifestyle support the big habit of THM. So that when you want sugar, you'll automatically turn to the delicious THM dessert instead of the sugary one that's not really worth it. And when you don't have time to make dinner, you automatically throw together something very quick and on plan instead of going to the drive-thru. So there are 2 phases to this process, and I've already gone over, so I'm so sorry. I will wrap it up quickly here. There are 2 phases to this process. It does take about 6 to 8 weeks to be automatically mentally classifying your meals once you understand them well and you're on plan 100% of the time. Developing those systems and routines does take a little bit longer. So something that I want to show you that I put in the workbook that did print with the workbook is this rotisserie chicken cheat sheet. Where did I put it? Sorry, just a moment. If you need ideas for last minute meals, I use this all the time. If you don't have time to cook, I will grab a rotisserie chicken from the grocery store, combine it with these things. I just make sure all the ingredients are on plan. This is a really helpful way to help you stick to the plan when you don't have time to cook. So for this week, I am going to ask you all to be working on sticking to the plan 100%. We'll talk a little bit more about prep and backup plans and all that stuff over the next few weeks. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask, and we will be talking a whole lot more really soon. So I will see you all in the group, and I hope you have a great day. Thanks. Bye.